Your Honor, we'd like to drop the case. Well, is the evidence bad? No. Is there misconduct? No. Were anyone's rights violated? Nope. Then why do you want to drop the case? Well, we just don't want to do it anymore. And that's not something that I wrote as a bit, because that is functionally what the DOJ actually put in a legal position this week. And a federal judge had no other choice but to sit there and go, do what you want. I have to accept it. And the case was the last of the January 6th prosecutions that were left standing for seditious conspiracy against the founder of the Oath Keepers. And the word every single news outlet out there is using to describe how that judge felt about dismissing this is reluctantly. And the judge, Amit Mehta, wiped the convictions of Stewart Rhodes and 7 other Oath Keepers on Tuesday. And in his opinion, he did something federal judges almost never do. He told you exactly how thin the government's excuse was. The DOJ didn't say that the evidence was weak. They didn't say that there was misconduct. Didn't say that anyone's rights were violated. Not one of those things. And that judge actually wrote that out, point by point, as if he's building a case for an appeal that will never come. And one of the government's own arguments, that dismissing this case somehow would protect the defendants from harassment. And Judge Mehta called that a strange argument. AKA that judge is saying, come on, man. And look, I've got to ask, what does it actually take at this point for a conviction in this country to stay a conviction? Because if you support Donald Trump, it's almost as if a jury verdict or a court ruling doesn't mean anything as long as you're loyal to the president. Drop it in the comments. Is there a bridge too far for Republicans at this point? And by the way, the judge didn't stop. They went further, because Trump's original day one executive order commuted these sentences. However, it didn't pardon them, and it didn't direct anyone to dismiss the case. This is something the DOJ did on their own, above and beyond what Donald Trump himself even ordered. Judge Mehta's closing line here was that the outcome, quote, diminishes the gravity of that day. It denigrates the work of the prosecutors and law enforcement officers who secured these convictions. And it excuses criminal acts. And this isn't the only judge that said something similar this week. Judge Tanya Chutkan, the same judge who had Trump's own 2020 election case before it got dropped, dismissed a separate January 6th case just days ago and wrote, quote, no pardon can change the tragic truth of what happened on January 6, 2021. These are both Obama-appointed judges telling you the truth in 2 separate rulings, because that was a historically bad day for our country. And both of these judges said the same thing, but they said it with their hands tied behind their backs, because the DOJ is not going to go through with these prosecutions. We all know what this was. We just don't get to decide anymore. January 6th, no matter how many times Donald Trump tells you it was nothing, January 6th was one of the darkest days in our democratic republic's history. And by the way, you would be shocked at how much this simple stuff actually helps. A like, a comment, a share. It all makes a huge difference. All in a story that closes the book on January 6th without anyone actually answering for it. But we will never, ever let that day go forgotten.